I promised it would be a short break, so immediately jumping into Game 2, we've got Digital Chaos going up against Infamous, Dota 2 Canada Cup, Losers Bracket Round 3. Winner goes on to the Losers Bracket Finals. And the loser, unfortunately, we say goodbye to them, and that's the end of their Dota 2 Canada Cup run. Once again, guys, this is a replay cast. This game has already happened. The series has already happened yesterday, but I have not spoiled it for myself. So if you haven't, or if you have and you want to still see the games, we're casting it here for you. We're on 2x speed right now through the draft, but we will slow it down once we actually get to the game. We had Digital Chaos take a pretty dominating position in Game 1, and they never looked back as they ran all over Infamous. Finished 12 kills to 1. It was only a 13-minute game. So Digital Chaos will look to continue that into this game and look to take this series right here. This is a best of 3. So Infamous, this is a must-win game for them as their tournament is on the line.
5 seconds remaining.
But let's talk about the draft. We've got the Lone Druid, the Enchantress, the Viper, and the Juggernaut banned out by Digital Chaos. And no surprise here, Infamous banning out that Chen, getting rid of the Yaoi Chen, as that definitely helped Digital Chaos just kind of snowball out of control. Obviously, the lanes actually went okay for Digital Chaos. They had a really good rotation on the back of the Chen.
10 seconds remaining.
But the thing was is that every single time they got a kill on one of those rotations, because they had a Chen, they were able to knock down towers. And then Infamous even tried to come back and still defend, and then they ended up just losing those heroes and losing a second tower. So that Chen was huge and definitely had a giant impact on Digital Chaos's ability to snowball. So that's going to get banned out by Infamous. They also ban out the Void, Beastmaster, and Gyrocopter.
5 seconds remaining.
As for the picks, Earth Spirit, Invoker, and Darkseer for Digital Chaos. We got Dazzle, Nature's Prophet, Templar Assassin, and Bounty Hunter for Infamous. We have seen Infamous use the Bounty Hunter to great effect. In fact, we've also seen Digital Chaos use it to great effect as well. Last game it was banned out by Digital Chaos in the second round. So this time it's available. Infamous will be picking it up. Witch Doctor is the pick for Digital Chaos. And now the final two bans. One is Spirit Breaker for Infamous, and Digital Chaos with their last ban. We'll look to see who that is. But let's quickly try and figure out who's where. Nature's Prophet offlane, Templar Assassin mid, Bounty Hunter Dazzle support duo. So we need a safe lane carry for Infamous. The Ember Spirit's no longer available to them, as that was the final ban from Digital Chaos. As for Digital Chaos, what are their lanes looking like? Darkseer offlane, Invoker mid, Earth Spirit, Witch Doctor support duo with Witch Doctor safe lane. Earth Spirit kind of doing that roaming around business, similar to the Bounty Hunter. So he's going to be kind of babysitting mid. We'll see how that goes down. But either way, both teams looking for their safe lane carry. Infamous will have the first choice, and they'll go with the Anti-Mage. So now the question is how does Digital Chaos want to respond to this Anti-Mage? They've already got a Darkseer going up against the Anti-Mage, which isn't necessarily the greatest thing for an Anti-Mage. The Ion Shell can be a little bit of a pain for him early on. But basically, the best way to counter that is just to put pressure on the Darkseer early on and don't let him get those early levels of Ion Shell. Which they definitely have the potential to put pressure on. I don't know if they've got any kill potential. The Dazzle can certainly try and zone out, and he can do it a little bit more aggressively as long as they know that the Bounty Hunter hasn't shown on the map and that there's a possibility of him being in the bottom lane. Otherwise, the Darkseer can kind of man up a little bit and put some pressure on that Dazzle. But we're going to get Spectre as the final pick. So Spectre, Anti-Mage, this one's probably going to be a little bit longer than Game 1. I don't think it's going to be another 13-minute game with these two carries. But wait until we hop into the game here and get through what most likely is going to be a pause, as we kind of see that every single game. But then we'll quickly cycle away from this screen into a different one and reduce the speed. But doesn't look like it's going to be the case, so I'll quickly tab away from that. Alright, that is cleared off the screen. We are spoiler-free as we're back to one-time speed here. as we've got Buryud going with that aggressive ward out to the top to get that observer ward down, but immediately it's scouted out by the Trents. But let's introduce who's on what. Is on our Radiant side is going to be Infamous. We got ZTalk playing the Bounty Hunter. Infamous's Greedy is going to be on the Templar Assassin. We got Stinger with that great play off the start to scout out Buryud, placing that observer ward. He's going to be playing the Nature's Prophet. We're seeing that observer ward just getting countered right now by ZTalk. We got Kotaro playing the Anti-Mage, and Excel is going to be on the Dazzle. As for our Dire side, it's going to be the Digital Chaos boys. We got Bulba on that Darkseer. We saw him land a few good Chronospheres, but no really huge, big standout plays. And frankly, he didn't need it, as that was pretty just kind of cruise control win for Digital Chaos. They just, they didn't really require any big plays. They just kind of just won the game. We've got Aoi playing the Earth Spirit.
The battle begins.
He could be in trouble here. He'll be able to roll away. We've got House on the Invoker. Buryud is going to be on the Witch Doctor, and Yawar is going to be on the Spectre. That's who's playing what. Those are the starting items. That's all that. Everything looks pretty standard. As for our lanes, looks like it is going to be the Nature's Prophet in the top lane going up against the Witch Doctor and the Spectre.
Courier has been killed.
And ZTalk, wow, I didn't even look. I didn't even look for it because we see these bounty hunters go for these couriers off the start of pretty much every game, and every team knows pretty much what's going on, and they don't even bother. Or they just know how to counter the bounty hunter. But immediately that courier got sniped, and I cannot believe that Digital Chaos allowed that to happen. Normally the kind of roaming around support, in this case it would have been Aoi, kind of goes up and meets the courier just by the tier 3 on the ramp and brings the item to the mid hero, but not the case here, and Digital Chaos will lose their courier. It's once again Excel getting losing a lot of HP very early on in this game. As for other lanes, it is the Templar Assassin going up against the Invoker in the mid lane. So that one is kind of favoring Infamous there, as we've got more action in the bottom lane as Aoi's going to roll on in. And this is a great synergy here that Digital Chaos are using. They've got Aoi with the Earth Spirit. He's able to roll in the Rolling Boulder, and he's able to do so with the Ion Shell on him, so he's able to put so much pressure on these heroes in the bottom lane. And Digital Chaos are looking fantastic at being able to contest this bottom lane. And once again, this is another kind of play and another synergy. Basically what you're going to do is, well, we're actually going to see Excel go down here to the combo. Or are we? Oh, it's so close. Will he get it? Will he get it? How is he not in range? Excel will get a heal off. That might have actually cost him. As one more attack is going to come in as Aoi gets the first blood. He does go down shortly after to Kotaro, so the Anti-Mage gets a little bit of gold. But first blood still goes the way of Digital Chaos, so advantage goes their way. But once again, this is another one of these plays that's going to put pressure on one of the lanes and try and tie up this bounty hunter and make him kind of stay down there, because they're going to be losing their bottom lane with the way it's going so far. Now, Infamous has two ways of dealing with that. They can say, well, we lost our bottom lane. ZTalk, go around and make sure that we win our other lanes. Or bring ZTalk back down there and say, okay, you want to come and contest us in a 2v2 lane in the bottom lane? Well, we're going to make it a 2v3. And you're going to have to do it against 3 heroes. And then all of a sudden you start winning your bottom lane again. Fortunately, we're going to have a pause here, but one of the things I think that they can just bring ZTalk down to the bottom lane and put some pressure on. Like I said, it's very important that they keep the levels down on this Darkseer, but he's already up to level 3, and if he keeps getting levels, that Ion Shell is going to become more and more difficult for this Anti-Mage to deal with. He does have a Dazzle paired with him, so that certainly helps. He's got the ability to use the Shadow Wave to keep the HP high on the Anti-Mage. And it also helps kind of because it deals damage to the creeps as well, it also helps kind of control the creep equilibrium. A lot of things that Darkseer, that happens when you're laning up against a Darkseer on a hero like an Anti-Mage or any kind of melee-oriented hero, is because you don't really want to be in on the creeps constantly, you just want to kind of go in, chop that last hit, and then back away. It makes it a lot more difficult to maintain the creep equilibrium, because the ion shells are pushing the lane so hard. So you can quickly have so much pressure under your tower from the creep wave, and you want to be able to make sure that you're managing the creep wave and try to keep it around this area, which is very, very hard to do against a Darkseer. But with Shadow Wave, you're able to control it a little bit better. Not only are you healing your anti-mage, so he's able to deal with that ion shell, but you're also doing the nukes to the creep wave to help kind of push it back in your favor, but not push it down the lane. And there's kind of a fine line you have to walk there. But that's just one of those things that comes with experience, and definitely these players have that, and they have the skill to do it. As the cask, lucky bounce there by Buryu, will stun up Stinger, but not going to give them the opportunity to open up. Zetox rotate up to the top lane. They're going to right-click down Buryu as he's going to go down. Great rotation there from Infamous. There was a reason why Digital Chaos banned out the Bounty Hunter last game. Zetox is very, very good at playing it. But Aui's going to roll on in. Sunstrike is going to land onto Greedy as he is in trouble. He doesn't have any refraction charges and he is dead. As House getting the kill there. 2-2 now. As Digital Chaos even the score as Excel. Where is he going? He's going to place the Sentry Ward. He's close. He's close. But not going to find it now. Aui's going to start rolling on in. Or will he? Bulb actually ion shells Aoi there. I thought he actually just ion shelled himself, but no, he already had one lingering. As Aoi's going to pick up that haste and now he's going to start chasing down Excel. Ion shell just gets refreshed there by Bulba so that it doesn't expire on Aoi, and he's able to get the kill here as Excel having to shallow grave himself. And look at this, Aoi taking kind of the long route away. And that isn't because he didn't know where Excel went. It's because he wanted to try to avoid some of the damage coming in. But great play there coming out from Aoi as they kill off Excel. And certainly there were some great plays there by House and Bulba to help out there. And it was even a nice sprout coming out by Stinger, but just wasn't enough to keep his teammate alive there. Zetox is going to come up here. Shuriken toss to get the aggro of the creep wave and pull it back off the tower.
Radiant structures.
Fortunately, he wasn't able to get the range creeps, so they're still hitting away on the tower.
Radiant's top tower.
Quickly take a look at our mid lane. Looks like TA just slightly leading, 28-7 versus 23-7. So 5 CS advantage for Greedy. But of course, we just saw him die, so that's going to give some of that advantage back towards House. As for the bottom lanes, 31-11 for Kataro, as I completely missed that kill in the top lane, and 29-4 for Yawar. So despite the fact that Digital Chaos had that aggressive lane in the bottom off the start, they've kind of since backed away from it, and it's actually allowed Kataro to end up with more farm than Yawar. Now it's only a very slight amount, but we kind of expect it to be the other way around if Digital Chaos kind of stuck with their Earth Spirit in the bottom lane. But I feel like because they've got this matchup in the mid lane, because it's so Templar Assassin advantageous, that you need to kind of rotate some heroes up there towards the mid lane to deal with it. And especially with a hero like Bounty Hunter that's able to roam around so effectively and all of a sudden open up on your mid hero, you can just see the effect of that. As soon as the Bounty Hunter is there, the Invoker is dead because he doesn't have vision, because they tried to sentry it, but immediately that sentry was countered by Infamous. And without another hero there, that Invoker is just going to die every time. So you can't really keep your Earth Spirit in the bottom lane, and you don't really want to rob all that XP from Darkseer anyways, as Aui's going to roll on in. House going to drop the Ice Wall, as Greedy is in trouble here. He just realizes the fact that he's going to go down. He tries to go for the kill on Aoi instead, but with Buryu TPing in, they get the kill before Aoi is too threatened. Stinger TPs, tries to come in from a sprout from the side, but with the rolling boulder up, the sprout wouldn't have even locked down Aoi in place anyways. Stinger still hanging around mid, hasn't gone back up to top just yet. Looks like he's going to now.
Warriors of the wood.
Bulba's at level 5.5. Contrast to Stinger, which is just slightly behind in XP, but fairly even. Stinger actually getting the upper end of or the better end of the last hits, as he's at 20-4, whereas Bulba's at 15-0. It's surprising that we actually have a Darkseer not with crazy CS to start off the game, as it's very, very difficult for an Anti-Mage to deal with, but he's at 18 denies. He's done a great job dealing with this, and he's got a lot of regen, but here we go. Aui's going to rotate on in, Boulder, roll, as Kataru will get Shallow Graved up, and he does have that healing salve. That'll help bring his HP back on. Buryu, they're not done. He's going to come in and check for him. Kataru going to hide in that little nook, not reveal himself, as the Nature's Prophet ultimate comes bouncing on in. They get a kill there on Bulb. It was just above the lane. And Stinger and Acceler here.
Just what the doctor ordered.
The Digital Chaos, they go for an aggressive play. They almost get the kill on the Anti-Mage, but it does end up costing them their offlaner. No risk, no reward. That's loud. Oh, he's the mana void spam. Buryu with the rotation. They're going to go after Greedy here, but he had Invis bottled up, so he's going to use that. And not really too threatened, despite the fact that there is a Sentry Ward down in the mid lane. I guess another one of the things that's interesting in this game is that Sentry Ward in mid lane is actually very, very effective, not just against the Templar Assassin, but against the Bounty Hunter. So you kind of got double purpose with having a Sentry Ward in the mid lane, but that's further emphasis on why Infamous want to make sure that they control the Sentry Ward in the mid lane, as Greedy's going to get opened up on once again. Yawar is even going to haunt on in for this, as that's going to be a kill going the way of Digital Chaos. They want another. They're going to try to chase down Z-Talk, but Yawar gets sprouted by Stingers. He comes in to save his teammates. And Infamous will just lose one, but it is their mid laner, and it further sets them back. It's Digital Chaos again, the ones kind of dictating the pace of this game. They're the ones making the rotations. They're the one making the movement. We've seen a few from Infamous, but for the most part, it is Digital Chaos in the driver's seat. They're the ones
Radiant's middle tower
really making the
under
plays
attack.
here.
Damage.
For good or for bad at times. This game will probably speed up a little bit here. Stinger's going to have his mech completed. We might see them fight a little bit more with that mech time. We've also got the drums almost completed by Greedy. So some items are starting to come online, and that'll help them then put some pressure elsewhere on the map and create some space for the Anti-Mages. Speaking of the Anti-Mage, he gets a kill there onto the Earth Spirit. Oh my goodness, he goes to juke the Sunstrike, and he does so, but then he almost walks right back into it. That was so close, but Kataru doesn't get hit there. He'll be okay, but with that mech, like I said, they're going to be able to move around and put pressure elsewhere on the map, which is going to help create space for this Anti-Mage, help him get his Battle Fury completed, and help him kind of come online with getting his farm going. As Battle Fury just kind of begins the ability for Anti-Mage to farm. It doesn't allow him to all of a sudden fight. It's not a big ticket item where all of a sudden he can fight and go. As Yawar gets a kill in the top lanes, they drop Stinger, and in the mid lane we lose Z-Talk, as I missed both those kills. T-Tours.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
$1,800 gold up on the Spectre now. As we're going to get to an interesting place in this game where mid-game, there's going to be some movements around from both teams, trying to create space for their safe laners, trying to put pressure on the opposing safe laners. But both of them are very, very difficult to gank. And the Bounty Hunter is certainly going to help Infamous with their ability to gank the Spectre, but they just keep losing their Templar Assassin, and Infamous was lucky that they were able to drop the Darkseer there before they lost their Templar Assassin. But once again, it's another kill for Yawar as he haunts on in, he gets the kill on Greedy there, and then you know, he's further ahead. He's at 2-0 and 3 right now. It's helping him get further and further along the way towards his relic. He's at 2,700 gold now. Stinger will get a kill in the mid lane as they drop Buryu. But Kataro actually has his Battle Fury completed, flying in on the courier, the remainder of it. And now he'll get a bottom tier 1 tower, so that'll help as well. I was probably expect him to go for his Vlad's as his next item.
Dire's bottom tower.
The question is going to remain, will Digital Chaos be able to keep up now that the Anti-Mage has his Battle Fury? Obviously the Spectre can't farm as fast as an Anti-Mage. There's almost no heroes in the game that can farm as fast as an Anti-Mage once he has his Battle Fury. But the Spectre is already in a really great position. 3,200 gold right now. He almost has his Relic. He's going to have his Relic probably around the 15-16 minute mark. And that's being generous. He'll probably have it before then, as Greedy's going to get a kill in the mid lane as they drop house. Play just above. A Stinger's going to find Buryu. He's going to trap him in a Sprout. Greedy and Z-Talk rotate on up. And they get another kill there as Z-Talk. He's got the level 6. I don't think he actually got the track off there, though.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
He's going to come in from Aoi. Bulba's here as well. Once again, Ion shelling up that Earth Spirit. He won't go in just yet. He'll just kick a rock at them and then back away, as they don't really have the ability to contest this tier 1 tower push. So Infamous will get that and a little bit more gold going the way of the Anti-Mage. But once again, this is a time where they haven't put pressure on the Spectre in the top lane, and now he's at 36, almost 3,700 gold. The Relic is pretty much here. Stinger's going to TP into Roche Pit. Greedy going to come down, pick up a double damage rune.
Radiant's middle tower is under
This is a very early Roche push for Infamous. You take a look around Roche, and there is no vision. We quickly switch to a Digital Chaos' vision. They have no idea that this is going on. But they go for a smoke, and immediately it gets popped. So they pop the dust, and they don't find anything, but it's because they walk so close to the Roche Pit. And now Roche is dead. Greedy's picked up the Aegis, and they're going to find Buryu. They're going to trap him in some trees. And that is once again another dead Witch Doctor, but they're not done. They're going to keep going forward. They're going to try to chase after house here. As some Trents get spawned up, and will they be able to get in front? Well, they're not going to need it, as the Sprout's there instead, as that's going to lock Bulba down in place. He will get the wall down, doesn't need to get the vacuum off, as everyone was pretty much running through it anyways. But Bulba dies, and that's another kill on the board for Infamous, as they take the lead here, 11-9.
Top tower is under attack.
And we're going to see how effective that Aegis is going to be going forward here, as that's going to allow Greedy to play a lot more aggressive.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But once again, this is another play that has not involved Yawar, and that means Relics online, 700 gold. The Radiance is pretty much going to be completed very, very soon, as Z-Talk almost gets the opening up onto Yawar there. I don't think they would have really had enough follow-up, but now he'll just track him up, so they don't get any damage in, but at least they know where he is. $2,000 gold up on Greedy. He's kind of rebounded. He's had a little bit of a rough game at points. 4 deaths already, but Aoi and Z-Talk in a little bit of a battle here. Magnetide's getting used. Z-Talk won't actually walk into that Sunstrike, but they're not going to need it. As Yawar tosses in a dagger, gets a kill. And we're 100 gold away from his Radiance.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Now we're seeing a little bit of the pushing potential from Infamous, as they're going to push up in the top lane and go after the tier 1, but it's mainly because they're not, well, maybe they are. I was going to say they're not able to really contest this mid-tier 1 tower push, but they will. They'll come back, and they'll actually force Digital Chaos to back away.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And I'm guessing that Digital Chaos say, you know what, why risk it? We've got Yawar very, very close to his Radiance. Let's not risk it and set him back Let's get him the farm he needs, and there we go. He's going to pick it up right now. It's going to be flying in on the courier. So, the top tower did go down from the creep wave pushing. So, Infamous still got that. But now the Radiance is online for Yawar. And they are looking like they're in a great position. Kotaro actually didn't go for the Vlads. He's gone for a Yasha. Now he's also picking up a Manta-style recipe. So he's going to have that shortly, as he just needs a couple hundred more gold before he's able to pick up the ultimate orb. And I don't know what he's doing right now, but he's going back and forth. And he's really got nowhere to farm right now. He just needs to wait for respawns. As yes, any mage can farm that fast, where you have to wait for respawns because you run out of creeps. Well, ZTalk is the one who picked up the Vlads for them. That makes a little bit more sense. We can switch over to our net worth here, and we've got 11,000 gold for the Animate. He leads the way. Greedy's number 2 at 9,900. Then it's Yawar, who, speaking of him, he jumps on in with 9,300 net worth, as they're going to jump on to ZTalk. They've already dusted him out. That's a dead bounty hunter. Stinger is in trouble as well. Or, yes, he will, as he's going to go down. Now they're going to go after Kotaro, who will try to blink away. He got magnetized, and oh my goodness, if you saw Excel right here, he was like a frame away from completing the shallow grave to save Kotaro there, but it just didn't complete. Instead, the Animage went down, and then, of course, Excel, it was already going to be a sacrifice to try and make that play, and there was no way that he was going to be able to get out, even if he got that cast off, but unfortunately he doesn't, and in the end he just kind of gives his life away for nothing, but it was worth a try at least. He was so close. ZTalk going to get stunned up again. They've dusted him out one more time. They're going to try to go for this. Greedy's here as well, though. And he's got his Desolator picked up. He's going to be doing a lot of damage. And he still has that Aegis. So Infamous may choose to fight back here and keep pushing forward, as he's almost going to be able to bring down Bulba. Brings him down to about 60 HP. But the Surge is able to get him out of range of that Templar Assassin. And now they turn around. They go on Greedy. They drop him. But he'll be back up in a few seconds. But they'll drop a wall down on top of him. Grease keeps charging forward. Will he be able to find Bulba? The attack is there, and Bulba goes down this time. Greedy will find that kill. House almost done his TP, but Kotaro gets the Mana Void off in time to cancel that, stun him up, and that's a double kill for Greedy. As they're going to find another, as Stinger's going to get the Sprout off onto Yawar. Will they be able to catch him before he's able to run away? Kotaro blinks in front of him, and the Spectre will go down, as Infamous bounced right back with 3 very, very important kills on all 3 carries or cores on the side of Digital Chaos. Huge rebound play for them, as it's clear now that Digital Chaos maybe stayed a little bit longer than they should have, as they get punished for it by Infamous. But great play from the boys of Infamous, using that Aegis and going on the offensive. And Digital Chaos not really, they were trying to help everyone, and in the end it kind of overcommitted all their heroes, trying to help everyone else get out of there alive. And it's easy to look at it now and say, well, they probably should have just cut their losses and said, you know what, we're going to lose our Darkseer, sacrifice the Darkseer, everyone else get out. And, well, it just didn't happen. But we just went over our top net worth, and we could see that they're actually still pretty much in the same order. The Animage, followed by the Templar Assassin, Spectre, and Invoker. But now ZTalk's in trouble here in the top lane, as he's going to get attacked. And oh my goodness, he was so close to going down there. Doesn't take out from the Magnetize in the Fountain, but Excel once again walking up there trying to help a teammate. He gets caught out, and he goes down one more time. Let's take a quick look at our gold graph and see where we stand. Infamous this time in a very dominating lead in this game. Over 7,500 gold. Not quite at that 10K mark that we saw Digital Chaos hit. Just at I believe it was around the 11-minute mark last game. It was ridiculous how much of a lead they had. But Infamous still very much in control of this game, and it's certainly going to help with all these little fights and all these little kills going around. It certainly helps that they've got a Bounty Hunter and they've got Track on their side. XP just under 7,500 in favor of Infamous as well. A little bit of gold going to go the way of Digital Chaos. ZTalk actually could have denied that, but they were trying to go for a play here on some heroes, so didn't want to prevent his
is under attack.
his rotation, but in hindsight, it was definitely the right play to go for the deny. But despite the fact that Digital Chaos are quite a bit behind, I don't think they're as behind as maybe that graph is representing, because this Spectre is scary. He is really, really scary. With the Radiance, with the Urn, with the Yasha, almost a Manta pretty much, he's going to be very, very difficult for Infamous to deal with, and he's going to be able to just haunt on in and just easily put... Oh, I actually showed the bar at the bottom there. Not sure if you guys saw it. I actually saw it pop up but didn't actually look at the duration, so we're good there. Hopefully no spoilers. But Yawar is actually going to get picked off. Here's Infamous find a very important kill. But when it comes to the fights, when he haunts on in, he's going to be able to put so much pressure on Excel, and Excel's going to be in a situation where he's going to try to put all his spells out as fast as he can pretty much on all his allies, because elsewise he's basically going to have to use them all on himself to keep him alive.
Radiant's
And
middle
if
tower
they're able
is
to
under
force
attack.
Excel to
Dire's
shallow
top
grave
tower
himself,
is
that
under
is
attack.
huge for Digital Chaos. But Greedy's got a fresh BKB here, and it could be
Dire's top tower has fallen.
that could be difficult for Digital Chaos to manage at this point in the game. War Staff now
Radiant's
getting
middle
picked up by
tower is
Z-Talk.
under
It's still in a
attack.
stash though, so he's not going to have that on
Dire's
him.
top tower
They got the
is under
Orchid up on the
attack.
Nature's Prophet as well as the mech. Katara is actually going to get picked off in the mid lane. Sorry I missed that for you guys. Bulba's got his
Dire's
mech and his
top tower
arcanes.
is
Pretty
under
poor for a
attack.
Darkseer. He's sitting at 0, 4, and 8 this game. As the Haunt's going to come in, and who are they going to jump on? It's going to be on Stinger in the jungle as he's going to try to TP away. Will he be able to do so? Oh, just barely. So close. But Stinger just barely gets out of there alive, and Infamous actually don't lose a single hero. They lost Kataro in the mid lane prior to that fight, but they actually get away from kind of chipping away at this top tier 3 tower. I guess it's more than chipping, it's chunking as they drop it down to 390 HP. But they get out of there without losing a single hero. And it didn't cost Digital Chaos a ton, but it did cost them their haunt, which is pretty important at this point in the game. And, well, I had pretty much all points in the game from here on out. Teleport comes in from Stinger, opens up with a Sprout onto House. And with the Nature's Prophet ultimate bouncing through, and with Greedy throwing those Psy Blades at him. That is one dead Invoker.
Dire's middle
But
tower
his
is
items
under
are still
attack.
coming along. He's got the Midas certainly helping. The drums kind of help make him a little tankier and help him fight a little bit early on in the game, but we haven't really seen too much of that. Blink Dagger also going to help with his positioning, but didn't help him in that sense. But he's got also half of an Aghanim Scepter completed as well. So his item progression is still coming along, despite the fact that we've seen him die a few times recently. The Digital Chaos know that this Roche is happening. The question is, will they look to engage here? I was just going to kick a rock in, and Roche is getting low. He's under 1,000 HP, and he'll go down. Greedy, he's going to get the Aegis once again. It's Digital Chaos, they're hanging around the pit, but not actually going to look to hard engage there. Now they might lose Buryu, as he's going to get spreaded out by Stinger. And although he's got the Ghost Scepter to kind of prevent his death there, he's not able to go anywhere, still trapped by those trees, and they clean up the kill as soon as that wears off.
Dire's middle tower
And they get the mid
has
tier 2.
fallen.
Now they're going to look to, well, go on this mid tier 3. As this allows them to split, send their Animage up to the top lanes. Kataro cleans up that tier 3 tower. And now DC, they've got to fight somewhere, because they're losing structures in 2 lanes at once, and they've looked to have pushed back Infamous in the mid lane. But Kataro's already got the
Dire's
top range
barracks
racks.
are under attack.
He won't be able to bring down the more important melee one before they're able to force him back, but that has created space for his teammates in the mid lane to get the tier 3. Now wall vacuum. Grease already had the shallow grave cast on him, but he does have that Aegis, so even if he goes down, Infamous are still going to have that Templar Assassin up. As Buryu once again gets caught by a Sprout, Ghost Scepter going to continue to delay his death, but I think it's coming. Or maybe not. He's going to get up to the high ground, but oh my goodness, that meld strike. You could just see it almost in slow-mo flying through the air, and it connects on Buryu and just demolishes him. That was about half of his HP, maybe even more. As Greedy He
structures
pops the
are
BKB, starts charging forward. There comes Kentaro with the Mana Void as they drop that Invoker. And the racks are starting to fall as the Manta's going to get picked up by Yawar, and I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. The top melee racks are down. Now the mid melee racks is about to fall. The range racks will fall as Owie's in trouble. He's got the Magnetize down, but he goes down once again to another one of those attacks from Greedy. As Ztok's going to go down, but the big story is Greedy, as he's on a triple kill and he is beyond godlike right now. And GG will get called by Digital Chaos as they're going to tap out of this one. And we've got an even series. We're going to game 3. 21-17. Infamous takes it in just under 28 minutes, 27:55. But this series is proving to be a good one. I'm glad I was able to come back and do the replay cast here, because this is getting exciting. Well, we're going to a game 3. And we'll have that in just a few minutes, guys. Like I said, we are casting from the replays, so we don't have to wait as long in between the games. So we'll be back in just a minute or two. Once again, I'm going to grab a drink and throw it to some music in the meantime, but we'll be back, and we'll be back shortly, as we've got Game 3 to settle to determine who advances to the Losers Bracket Finals and who we say goodbye to for this season of the Dota 2 Canada Cup. Once again, guys, I was Niz. Thanks for joining me. We've got Game 3 coming up in just a minute.